Good morning from Vietnam. Good morning to you, Peter. Thanks a lot for spending your very early morning to join our program to share your stories to our audience. And on behalf of the listener everywhere, I want to say thank you for being so kind, generous to join our program.
No, thank you so much. It's an honor to be on this platform. I do not take it for granted. Thank you so much for granting me this opportunity. Thank you.
Hey, and I'm sorry I have to keep you stay late for this conversation. I know it's like 3:30 in the morning in your time, and you're still up for this. Hey.
There's nothing that we cannot do for purpose. So we shall wake up, we shall sacrifice, we shall do whatever we can do, as long as it's for the betterment of the world.
Yeah, and I think that if Lydia is the one who introducing the two of us together, there must be
Yeah.
something beautiful for us to share to the world, right? So, maybe you have a new friend, new family in Vietnam. If you decide to travel here, you let us know. We'd love to see you in person. And for a little taste of our culture, Peter, it's very honored if we can have you to share to our audience a little bit about who you are and the work
Okay.
that you do. Would you please do that?
Yeah, not a problem. Yes, I would love to do that.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so, all right, so, thank you. All right, let me just introduce myself. So my name is Peter Chushi Kasongo. I come from a country that starts with the letter Z, that is Zambia. That's where I grew up from. I grew up in a town called Livingston. Livingston, that's where we have the Victoria Falls. If you have heard, one of the 7 wonders of the world called the Victoria Falls. So just in that city, that's where I come from. I grew up in that city. So basically, I'm a purposian. What that means is that I help people discover, manifest, and maximize their purpose. All right, that's what I do. So I'm the founder of an organization known as the Purpose Global. And of course, I want to acknowledge my dear sister Lydia for connecting me to you. If you check on my LinkedIn, it's properly branded in red. So red is an energetic color, very powerful color, very vibrant color, which means I'm not here to play, but I'm here to bring in change in the lives of people by helping them discover their purpose. So that is the Purpose Global. Aside from that, I'm also a founder of a company known as Perfect Pack Media Limited, or PP Media Worldwide. And then I also run an organization called PP Media Impact. It's an organization that helps, that uses media as a tool for social change. We talk about leadership, governance issues, and we also look at social critical issues. Let's take, for instance, water challenges that people are facing, and so many other things. So we'll be able to explore all that. Yes, so yeah, apart from that, yes, I'm also a kingdomist. Yeah, and so basically, I think that's that for in a nutshell for now. Yes.
So I thought that your media works has won several awards in your region. Tell us how you feel.
Oh no, thank you so much. So my media skills, I've won myself an award with my team. Basically, we opened what is known as Perfect Pack Media South Sudan, PP Media South Sudan. So South Sudan is a country that had been long married with war. You know, South Sudan, when we talk about South Sudan, everybody will talk about war, South Sudan, you know, and all that stuff. But South Sudan is a beautiful country. I have a lot of friends and colleagues, brothers and sisters of mine from South Sudan. So we decided to do a film that promotes peace, all right? Because it's about, we thought that we should use our gifts, you know, or we should use our talents to promote a social change in the community. So we did a film that promotes peace in South Sudan that won us an award, Best Film Award in promoting peace in South Sudan. So that's one of the awards. I was also listed as a media entrepreneur under the African Awards. Yeah, and basically that's that. So yeah.
And how that journey from child, from young child to the moment that you wanna, like leverage media and films to change the world. Tell us.
Okay, so basically, I grew up, like, I'm here in Africa. Have you been to Zambia, by the way?
No, but I interviewed a few people from Zambia, very beautiful and wonderful people from Zambia, yes.
All right, okay. So I'm actually inviting you to Zambia. So, but first of all, I need to come that side, then you can come this side.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll be happy to host you here. So, I grew up from so my childhood. I am raised by two parents, Mr. and Mrs. Kasongo. My dad is a leader. Is a vibrant, very vibrant leader. So and a speaker as well. Yeah. So I grew up from a middle income. You know what a middle income kind of home?
Yes, of course,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so here in Zambia, middle income, people call them middle class, but for lack of terms, it's just a well decorated poor man. So yeah, so because of growing up at one time, I stayed in a house where there was no electricity and stuff like that, and I went through the hard times, and I grew up hating poverty. Like I just hated poverty, and because of that background, I worked so hard in school. I would wake up, read my books with candles, walk some distances going to school, just to ensure that I make up a bright future for myself. So those were some of the things that inspired me. I felt like, okay, yeah, people talk about Africa. Africa is poor. Africa is that. When are we going to have a people who are going to create a better society and a better world? I felt like even as Africans, we have the potential to do what other people are doing in the society. So those are some of the things that really that triggered my mind, and that inspired me to do whatever I did. So in other terms, I wanted to be a person of purpose, somebody who has got a purpose in the society, because Africans have been branded as beggars who only beg for money. Africans have been branded as people who are poor. Africans have been branded as people who are facing diseases and all these kind of things. But I felt like it was about time that we have a different story from Africa. So those are some of the things that inspired me. So when I was in school, by the way, I studied a Bachelor of Business Administration, majoring in finance. That's the degree that I have. When I was in school, I decided to start up a company known as Perfect Pack Media Worldwide when I was still a student. Yes. So yeah,
The PP Media starting when you were
yes,
student.
PP Media. I started it when I was a student. Yeah, when everybody was studying, I was thinking to myself, I need to start something. Because it's about time we create entrepreneurship, because it's only entrepreneurship that's going to change the economic activities, or that's going to better our African continent or develop our world in general. So that's when I started up a media company. Yeah, so to cut the story short, with that media company, I decided now to begin to speak in the area of purpose, because I had the right tools, which is the media. Because if you have the media, you can influence the world. So I started now an organization known as the Purpose Global, where I talk about purpose. If you come on my LinkedIn, follow me on Facebook and everywhere, you find I always share these powerful quotes. Yeah, I share different videos. I coach young people. I coach them because it's about mindset change. There's a man who said, if you cannot change a man's thinking, you cannot change his life. You cannot change his state. Therefore, you cannot change his state. So it starts from the mind, changing a man's thinking. So that's what I do. So that's why I formed the Purpose Global, to ensure that I tell young Africans, not only Africans, even the world out there, those that don't believe in their potential, because there's a lot of potential trapped inside of us. We are like a seed. Okay, when you plant a seed, there are mango oranges that come out. There are mangoes that come out, oranges, apples from one small seed. So people are like seeds. People have got potential, but not until you begin to make them realize that they have so much potential, then we cannot see those oranges, we cannot eat those fruits. So basically, that's what I do under the Purpose Global. So I'm shaping the continent, and I'm just shaping lives, and that's what I do, code to change lives. Yeah, so I also formed PP Media Impact because, oh, thank you so much. I also formed PP Media Impact. So PP Media Impact is where we use media as a tool for social change. So we interview different skilled young people. Even here in Zambia, we've interviewed different young talented celebrities. Just here in Zambia, we've interviewed MPs, we've interviewed ministers, these people in the political positions.
You did?
Yes. We've interviewed people that do governance and leadership. We have done films. Let's say, for instance, we did a short documentary on a critical issue in a village called Vombwe. I should make you see this documentary where people drink dirty, murky water, like brown in color water. They don't have access to water, and you know, they drink that water next to cow dung. You know, there are cows drinking in the same water. They're also drinking in the same water. So we decided to document that using our skills and just put it out there if we can get a funding and change lives from those villages. So we also done films pertaining suicide. There was a rise in suicide cases. You know, people face depression when they face poverty. So we created a short film that talks about, you know, depression and how just young people can, you know, fight depression and suicidal issues. So basically, that's how we use media just to solve these critical issues. But we also train young people in terms of media skills. Let's say, for instance, camera, tech, and all these marketing skills. I personally was training young people in a refugee camp in Uganda, East Africa. Yeah, I was training them. You know refugees? You know refugees?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
We interview a lot of people in Uganda also. So.
Okay, great. So I was training refugees with my team. I was training refugees in Ramwanja refugee camp on how to use cameras, how to use these media skills so that they can, you know, start up their own businesses, just empowering them with these skills. So basically, in a nutshell, that's what we also do with the organization. But we also sit for high-level panel meetings in issues to do with tech. I mean, we sat on a high-level panel meeting under an organization, Internews and USAID, and some of the ideas and some of the things that we had shared there were actually used on creating solutions on the governance issue. So basically, yeah. Let me not talk too much. That's what I do.
Peter, where can we find your works?
My work is everywhere. It's on social media. Like, our works is everywhere. It's on social media. I can share some of the links with you. We have our works on YouTube.
Yes.
We have our website. Yeah, apparently, we are still working on. We had our websites on, but we are working on. Yeah. We're looking forward to rebranding and just working on that. But we have our social media is very, very active. Like we have, yeah.
So the social media is your LinkedIn, right?
Yeah, there's LinkedIn, there's Facebook, there's we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram. Yeah. Yes.
We would love to share your works also. So when we're done with this conversation, I would love you to send me some links to the works you do, you and your team do, so that we can share to the world also, Peter. All right?
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
So
great. And lastly, sorry, I forgot to mention. So I'm also a parliamentarian. You know who parliamentarian?
Yes.
Yes. So I'm a member of the Zambia Youth Water Parliament, which is also a partner organization. So we deal with issues to do with sanitation and water. My colleague is the president for the World Youth Water Parliament on a global level. Yeah, so he's an African man, the first black man to be the president. Yeah, so we also deal with water issues. Yeah, so basically, I also sit for meetings under that organization. Yes.
Wow, Peter. Yeah. If you look at your life, right, growing up in the middle-income family, where you say that you didn't like poverty, you know, like, and you make change. You create something that positive for your life, then create something positive for the life of others around you. And if you trace back within your family, you know, genes or culture of the people in the family, where did that seed come from in Peter?
All right. Okay, so my name is Kasongo. If you've seen the last word, Kasongo, I don't know if you saw something that was trending online to do with Kasongo. There was this like warthog, which was running very faster than a cheetah, sorry. No, a cheetah?
Yes.
There's this warthog, you know, like, you know, it was being chased by a cheetah, but the warthog was very fast in running, and they were calling that warthog Kasongo. All right, it's something that has been trending globally, like in the world, and something people were just laughing at. All right, so Kasongo basically means giant. So if I would trace in my family, I would say I come from a family of revolution, like people who bring in a revolution. My dad as for one, also just comes from a very, for lack of better terms, a poor background. But he fought so hard to be where he is. So if I look at even at my family, they are kind of people that really fight so hard and bring in the change. Yeah. So if I trace my dad and what he has fought for the society, I mean, he has been volunteering at an organization for more than 18 years, unpaid volunteering. You can imagine. Done a lot of projects, brought in a school, built a school for the young people and stuff like that through the same organization, and he's done quite a number of things. So those are some of the things that are very inspirational, just from my own biological father. Basically, that's the trace. So Kasongos are just fighters. We fight to bring in the change, and we are the giants. That's it. We want to see change in society. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Wow. So if your father was a person that have high influence on you and the work you do now, right? If you can trace back a piece of wisdom that he gave you early age that you still remember until today, what would you want to share about his wisdom, though?
Okay. My father has really shared quite a number of things with me. He has shared quite a number of things with me. But one of the things that it just tells me is, do not fear, have great determination. Whatever you want to achieve, just go out there and get it. Yeah, that's one of the things that he has always been emphasizing. The other thing that he emphasized, I remember growing up, I started selling when I was very young. I could sell ice blocks, like ice blocks. We make ice blocks, then go by the school, then we begin to sell. I was very young, then begin to sell these ice blocks, because my dad believed that entrepreneurship is a skill. It's not something that you just wake up to and say, I want to be an entrepreneur. It's a skill that you need to start training when you're still young. So my dad is one of the persons who will just tell you, entrepreneurship, you don't have to wait until you grow, or do something now while you're still young. So that was another lesson that I learned from my father. Yeah. So yeah.
Wow. And you've been on the path of creating impact at a very early age, right?
Yes,
and through
yes,
that path, there's a lot of that for sure. Up until today, there's a lot of challenge along the way also. So if you pick
yes.
one of the story and one of the challenge that is you want to share with us and how you overcome in that particular challenge, you're going to share with us a little bit about that, Peter.
All right. So basically, like I said, here in Africa, there's no one who will wake up and say, okay, here's the money, I'm giving you capital, start a business. No one will do that for you. So already that's a challenge for Africans. Yeah. So that's one of the most challenges that I faced when I was starting up a business. Who was going to give me money? If you're starting up a media company, cameras are quite cost thousands of dollars or thousands. What currency do you use in Vietnam?
We use Sony.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So, but do you understand the US dollar?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So it costs $1,000 and stuff like that just to buy a camera and stuff like that. Yeah, I know you understand that. Yeah. So to start up a media company, it was really a challenging thing. You understand? So no one gave me capital. I was a student, just a student going to school. I mean, even my parents had to look for money, source out for money just to pay for my school fees. It wasn't an easy thing. So me talking about setting up a media company, who starts a media company as a student? So so to begin with, I had to, very funny, but I had to use some of the, I had to borrow cameras, small cameras. I started with those, borrowing small cameras, and then from there I had to hire cameras, because I discovered that there was a place where you could hire cameras from Kampala town. So I was hiring cameras from Kampala town, and you'd imagine I get a deal, and like 60% of the money is going towards the hiring of cameras. And let's take, for instance, I have that a specific shoot or client that I have to shoot in another city, and then I have to take back the camera the following day early in the morning in a different city. You need to beat time and all that. One time I remember my assistant director even got soaked in rain, like it was raining, such kind of challenges, because we never had equipment. So that was quite challenging for us. But with time, we needed to save up. and we managed to buy our first camera, which was the Lumix GH4.
Ah.
And then I had bought a small Canon at first, but the major camera that we considered was the Lumix GH4. Then later on, we started amping up, and we bought more cameras through our saving skills, and we managed to buy equipment, buy printers, buy computers, and buy all these other things with time. So what am I trying to say? We started from nothing. We never had anything, but we utilized our skills, and we built from there. And that's a message to an African out there. There's no capital. No one is going to wake up and tell you, hey, here's the capital. Start with what you have where you are. Yeah.
So you started with almost zero, right? And then with just the determination and the willingness to do that, and the rest is like, you work your way out along the way. And and Peter, when I interview over 1,200 experts in 100 countries across 7 continents, one of the things that we easily see, and we wrote a book about that, is newness. Is their ability to facing, to find newness in every situation that they've been having, right? Like you came into a situation that you want to, to work on something without having proper equipment, and you find a way, you find new things that you could do. You borrow, you hire a camera, and you try to maximize of that, and along the way you learn new skill, you learn new relationship, make new movie, and eventually you save money to buy new camera, new and more, more equipments, right? If you look at your life, and you see the benefits of having newness mindset in your life, all right? So what would be some benefits that you see newness has brought to your life?
Okay, so what the newness, like my current position, what it has brought to my life, is that your question?
Yeah. Yes. If you look at the journey that you've been through, and how newness has helped to, to make it a success. So what is that?
Okay, so if I look at my journey, what have I learned from the journey? Is that your question?
Yes, what has newness helped in that journey?
Okay, all right, I hope I've gotten your question. So, well, what has newness brought to my life?
Yes.
All right, so of course, I come from a background where like I told you, so what is the dream of a poor man out there? To be rich, right? Or what is the dream of a sad person out there to have joy and happiness? What is it? So at the end of the day, it brings so much satisfaction, and it brings a mindset change whenever you achieve something, because it's like, how can I give an example? It's like a gym, huh? You know how a gym is. You lift weights. When you lift weights, it's quite painful, very painful. But there's something new that happens to your body after some time, right?
Yeah.
You develop muscles. So it was kind of very difficult, starting a business from scratch without equipment and doing whatever I've been doing, without money and all that stuff. But with time, very painful. Like I told you, getting soaked in rain and doing all those things. But with time, what did that do to me? It increased my muscles. Okay, shaped the way I think, shaped the way I see things. Because I always say tribulations. I like what one man say. Actually, I'll borrow some words. Tribulations are classes. Better learn and get access. So in other words, your next level is determined by how many challenges that you face today. Okay, it's just like going to a next grade. You move from a degree to a master's when you've been tested. Okay, there's no way that you go to a next level if you haven't been tested. So you only attain newness when you face the test. So, and when you attain that newness, you obtain now maybe credibility of being called a degree holder or a PhD holder or a doctor or something like that. So, and of course, through those tests that I went through, there's a mindset shift that happened to me. There's a newness, of course, that happened to me to say, I can do it in life. As long as you can achieve something, even if it's very small, even if, it's as small as a fist of a hand in the clouds, you know, it should give you the hope that, okay, you know what, there is hope. So if I can do it with one person, if I bought one camera, if I bought two cameras, that means tomorrow I can buy an aeroplane, or I can buy a Rolls Royce, or I can buy a Bentley. So that is a newness that happened to the mindset. So there's a mindset shift that has happened to me because I was able to solve problems. And apart from that, yes, it brought so much satisfaction to an African person like me. Okay, because there are few young people today who can start up companies as students, or who can do, by the grace of God, who can do what I have achieved today. So basically, yeah, that newness, that's what it has done. That's brought a mindset shift in me. It has made me gain so much determination and stability. Because remember, I gave you an example of muscles, right? So when you're at the gym, you start with small weights, but then you go to heavy weights. So what that happens is that it's like just mindset shift. With what I started, it's like I've been expanding my muscles, I've been expanding my potential. So because I started with the company as a student, now I can build a company at an African level. Now I can go then to a global level. So I've also expanded my ability of lifting those weights. So that's newness to me. Yeah.
Beautiful. And I think that expanding also is, you mentioned about the word thinking. You expand your ability to think. That also changing the way you change your mindset, and you create something. So my wife and I, we always love to help people to improve their ability to think, Peter. And by listening to your conversation, I'm really interested to know how have you grown your ability to think over the years. How would you please share with us the practice that you've been using to help you to expand your ability to think over the years?
Okay, that's a very good question. So, what are some of the things that I've used my ability to think? Okay, I always tell people, you are what you read, you are what you listen to. No matter how much you're gonna tell me, like practically, straightforward, straight up, you are what you read, you are what you listen to. That's what shapes us every day. Africans believe that they are poor because they always listen to things that tell them that they are poor. So now, how do you change your thinking? It starts, I can look at you, and I'm looking right behind you. There are a lot of books. Yeah, that already tells me the kind of person that you are. And this podcast, of course, this interview, it cannot be here today if you are not thinking in a certain kind of way, and if you're not influenced to think like that. So like I said, it starts with a mindset shift. What is it that you read? What do you read? What do you listen to? What do you watch every day? If you are always watching people, I always tell young people, if you're always watching those music videos by these Western people, sorry to mention, these Americans, where people are naked and doing all these things, the next thing we'll see you taking drugs and destroying your own life. So it starts with what you watch, it starts with what you listen to, it starts with what you. So what has influenced my thinking basically is what I listen to. I control these three things: what I watch, my eyes; what I hear, my ears; and my networks as well, because they say your network determines your net worth. All right, like we said, we have Lydia in the circle who has connected me to you because she has got a kind of way of thinking. So we have almost the same way of thinking, which is inspirational. So you understand, now I'm here with you. So it all starts with that. And we are what we are in life today because of the decisions that we made yesterday. You understand what I mean? I'm here today talking to you because I made up a decision to start the Purpose Global, and then that was my thinking. And then today Lydia saw what I was doing, and today I'm here with you. So what am I trying to say? It starts with the books that you read. Find time. That has influenced my thinking. I'm a reader. Trust me, I read a lot of Dr. Miles. I've read a lot of different authors. I cannot credit it all to me, because you cannot run a business if you don't listen to other people. I have read a lot of Dr. Miles Monroe. I've read a lot of leaders. I mean, across books, I read a lot of books. Apart from that, I also make sure that I listen to the right people. I mean, I listen to fellow Africans that are doing good in business. I mean, follow people like Dangote, Vusit and Bekwayo, just to mention but a few. Even people from abroad, I've read about Robert Kiyosaki, I've researched about Elon Musk, I've researched about all these people. I mean, this one from China for Alibaba, what's his name again?
Jack Ma.
Yeah, Jack Ma, all those people. So I get to research and I get to learn. And such platforms like your platform also, I'll get to learn from this platform. I mean, so I always look at what is it that it's like food. Every day you need to eat for you to grow. So as long as you are alive today, you always have to feed your mind with something positive, learn something new, because you are made up of the decisions that you make, and that all starts from your mind. So you have to feed your mind. Yeah.
So I'm taking the note in here, and for as a founder of Global Purpose, right? Purpose Global, what do
Yeah.
you want that organization to bring to this world?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. Like I said, under that, I said one of the most trading quotes that I said on the Purpose Global goes like this: if you don't understand the purpose of a spoon, you might use it for digging. If you don't understand the purpose of a toilet, you might use it for bathing. That's exactly what people do. When purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. So what am I trying to say? When you don't understand the purpose of something, people misuse their lives. If you don't understand the purpose of going to school, you will start going late for school, or maybe you actually miss classes. All right? If you don't understand the purpose of governance, or why you are a government leader, why you are a president, or why you are a minister, you're going to misuse your position through corruption, or you not deliver. So what am I trying to say at the end of the day? So my dream basically is to see to it that people live a life of purpose, because people have a potential. Every single person has got a different fingerprint. That means everyone has got a specific and a different purpose. So my dream is simple. I want to see a world where people live their purpose. They live their purpose. Why? Because when you understand your area of purpose, you understand your area of leadership. Because your area of purpose is your area of leadership. Because purpose starts with people. Purpose is not about me. It's about serving other people. It's about what you do with the people. So I believe that everyone is born to be a leader. I don't believe in the Socratic kind of mentality where they talk about, no, we have is it Socrates, where they talk about, no, there are only different individuals who are born to be leaders. That's not my kind of theory. I have a different kind of theory. I believe that your area of gifting is your area of leadership. So if somebody is a football player, if somebody is a table tennis player, that is their area of leadership. Now the question is, what are you going to do with that gifting? Because when you have an office as a president, use your office to fulfill purpose. Your purpose is not you being a president. Your purpose is what you do with that office. When you are a footballer, what are you doing with you being a footballer with that gift? So basically, that's what I do. I want people to live out their purpose, because in this world, if you don't fulfill your purpose, then you lived a meaningless life. Then you lived a useless life. Because at the end of the day, there is a story of a man who had so much wealth, buildings, and all those things, but he wanted to kill himself. And a young man wanted to go and rescue him. When the young man went to rescue him, he was sad to say, "Why are you rescuing me? Why is it that you're rescuing me? Leave me to die, because this life is unfulfilling. I have built different things, but my life is not fulfilled." So at the end of the day, what was he trying to put across? In life, no matter what you do, no matter how much you get busy, you must discover who you are and what you're called to do. And that is purpose. And that's what I've been called to do, to help people discover, manifest, and maximize their purpose. Yeah.
So you have taken the baby steps onto purpose. Start with knowing who I am, right? And
Yes.
the question of who am I is one of the meta question is really, like challenging and hard for a lot of people. So our audience would love to hear from Peter on how you can advise them to find the answer of who they are.
All right. So how do you find the answer of who you are?
Yeah. Who am I?
Who am I? That's a question. That's a question of identity. Yeah, that's a question of identity. Who am I? That's a very important question you need to ask yourself. That's a very wise question. Who am I? So I'll give you a very good example. All right. I'll give you a very good example. You see, I always give simple examples. I hope people understand this. Let's look at a manufacturing company. Okay. manufacturing company that manufactures chairs, all right, or maybe that manufactures phones, okay, for example. So if we're going to look at the identity of a manufacturing company, or of a chair, or of a car, we have to look at how it was manufactured. So what am I trying to say? How do you know that it is a bow? Because a bow is manufactured in such a way that it is round. You know what I mean? How do you know that it's a chair? You know a chair because it has been made in such a way that it has got a seat and you can sit on it. That's how you know that it's a chair. So what am I trying to say? You get to know the purpose of a product when you look at its description. So when you're talking about who am I, the question is, we need to look at your description. So to answer the question of who am I, we need first you need first to describe yourself. You need to have a deep introspection and discover and describe who you are. You understand what I'm trying to say here? So that's the question of who am I. So it simply starts with simple description. Let's take, for instance, I'll give an example of me. Who am I? If I were to describe myself, I'm somebody who always wants to see people move forward in life. I mean, improve people's lives in terms of leadership, in terms of purpose. And if I was to describe myself, you can see the way I'm talking. I don't have fear. I've got the bonus to say things. So by my description, I know I can talk. I can motivate people. I know I always put a smile on people's faces. Just by description, you can tell that I've been built in such a way that I need to help people discover their purpose. So you don't even have to. So it all starts by looking at who you are and describing who you are. Then you know what you know the purpose of that particular product. Simple. So you need to, that's just the simple way that I can tell the audience. Yeah.
Beautiful. I like the way that you make one big idea down onto a small and easy example to understand, right? So by understand this the small example, then it helps us to understand the bigger picture, and that require a skill to do that. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Where did you learn that skill?
Like I said, everyone has a specific purpose. You see, the way you're just interacting with me, you're asking me this question: where did you learn that skill? How did you do this? Someone can actually shiver on that camera, you know, but it's something that you discovered inside of you. You know, just like I said, every seed has got potential inside of them. Every person has got their purpose inside of them. They just have to discover who they are. I mean, yes, these skills sometimes they are brought out by our environment and stuff like that. But all of us, we have got these special abilities inside of us. So this is the message that I talk about when it comes to purpose. So we are all different. If you put me on a pitch to play football, oh my, you will see disaster. I can't even kick the ball.
Peter, you have met and interviewed a lot of amazing people through your media and your work, right? So who's the one you got impressed the most?
All right, through an interview.
Yeah, through your interview, through your work as a Purpose Global, through your media. So you talk to a lot of amazing people, right? Yeah. And who stands out to be the one that you really, you know, like to talk, learn a lot from?
Wow, that question. All right, I like that question. I've interviewed quite a number of people, so I'm thinking like who I've got a lot of favorite people, you know, like, you know, this world is full of dynamic, you know, full of different abilities, and so just to pick one out, it's like, so I'm trying to think here, who's that one person? So all right, so I have got different people that I've interviewed, but one of them that was really catchy with me was a man that I interviewed who is the CEO of Team Baba. Team Baba company, a company that is based in East Africa, but it has also expanded in the US. This is a man who grew up in the refugee camp. Yes, refugee camp with the South Sudan when there was war there, you know, families and stuff like that. and he ended up building this big company. And I think that man really inspired me. I mean, coming from a refugee camp and building a company, I mean, that's just a whole inspirational story. And how just he outlined things as the CEO of a company. I mean, he was one of the persons that inspired me. That's a man from East Africa. I've also interviewed young people. I mean, from my own country, I have my own brothers that I celebrate. Of course, the president of the World Youth Parliament is also my colleague. I mean, a smart man, Mr. Teddy Katongo, very smart man. He's a president at a world level. I've met different people who are presidents on the SADC level, on a country level, but going to a global level, I mean, having to interact with such a man is quite a blessing to me, and yeah, and I respect that. Apart from that, I also have a young man right here in Zambia. I've known him for a while. He's now aspiring to be a member of parliament.
Wow.
A youth. Yes. He has trained over 4,000. Is it 4,000 young people? Empowered them under an organization, a colleague of mine, an organization called Be Relevant. His name is Mwila Bwanga. I mean, one of the brilliant young minds that have brilliant minds. Sorry. A man that I honor so much and that I respect. I mean, sorry to be very biased. I'm talking about a lot of young people. It's because I also believe in I also believe in youth leadership. Coming to the women, I have one of a great coach from Uganda. I mean, interactions with her, Lydia Muge. I mean, brilliant person, brilliant personality, brilliant things she brings on the table. I mean, the list is endless. The list is endless. The list is endless. I've interviewed quite a lot of people. I mean, different minds. I mean, different minds. I have a mentor of mine from the U.S., Chris Montes. The list is endless. I mean, I would if I was to mention, I mean, we may take the whole time here, but just to mention about a few, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
If you have a chance to travel time with me, to meet you when you went out and following your father's advice to go out and sell something, and you mentioned earlier, right? So that you can have the skill and then you can have the experience back then. So for you to build your confidence, your identity, and your strength for what you do now. So assuming that we're gonna walk by that young Peter when he was on the street selling, and we're gonna stop him, and you're gonna tell him that you are the Peter up to 2025, and you give him some advice, some change that you want him to know. What would that story you're gonna tell that young Peter?
Okay, so in other words, me giving advice to a young Peter.
Yes.
A young Peter. Okay.
That young Peter who follow his father advice. Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'll tell this young Peter a story. There was a story of the Philistines who had attacked the people of Israel, and these were big giants. All right, I'm talking to a young man now. These were big giants, and there was a trained army that failed to kill this big giant called Goliath. He had a big sword, big things, and every person from the army was scared because they needed to fight that giant for them to move forward. And then here came a young boy called David with a sling. Okay, and he said, I've killed the bears before and the lions before, and he came out, true story, and then he came out and killed Goliath. People that were trained for a long time, skilled trained army people, could not kill Goliath, but a young boy, a young youth, killed Goliath. Here's what I'm going to tell to a young Peter, or to a young person like me. I will tell that young person to say, my boy, you have the potential. Do not look at yourself that you are young. It's not about the environment, it's not about your age, but it's about the attitude. What differentiated David and the army was attitude. If you have the right attitude and you believe in yourself, you will never rise above, or your belief system determines your tomorrow. What differentiated David and the army is their belief system, is their attitude. You might come from a poor country, you might come from a very low background, you might have all the challenges in the world. Yes, your challenges might look like a big giant in front of you, but David killed the giant. What made him kill the giant is the attitude and the belief system. What has made Nelson Mandela great is his belief system. What has made Michael Jordan is his belief system. What has made the great presidents that we've had in the world today and the great leaders like Elon Musk, people that have built all this Jack Ma, is the attitude and the belief system. Young man, believe in your dreams. Have a right attitude and you will make it.
Wow. Yeah. When you say that having the last question, okay? When you say that having the right attitudes, right? There's so many things that contribute to attitudes. Now, so many things that contribute to the right attitude. So right attitude is defined different by one person to the next. You know, something Peter defined, a right attitude may be different than what Ha is defining about, you know, attitudes, right? So if you pick one thing that all of us need to, you know, like start to learn, to research, and then to practice today, so that in 2026 and forward, we're gonna start building the right kind of attitude for us in the future. So what would that one thing that, yeah, everybody start to do now?
Building the right attitude?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I think that also goes back to the mindset, where we spoke about the mindset, because this is like a chain reaction. Yeah, because like I said, your attitude is determined by your belief system, what you believe in, right? We are what we are today because of our belief system. Our attitude is strongly influenced by our belief system. But what we believe in, or rather our belief system, is influenced by our thoughts. So that's like a chain reaction. Your thoughts, your belief system, then gives birth to your attitude, right? So for you to build up a right attitude, it will go back to the mindset change, what we spoke about. Feed your mind with the right attitude. What differentiated David, the small boy, and the army is because he had fed his mind that he can kill that big giant. So don't feed your mind with things that talk about, no, you cannot make it, there's no way you can go, you are a failure, all this kind of stuff. Look for things that will challenge your thinking. Look for things that will challenge your potential. Here's what I always say. The things that you've achieved before, that is no longer your potential. If you've bought one car, it's no longer your potential. If you've bought a house before, it's no longer your potential. Look for things that will challenge you and challenge you to move to the next level. Otherwise, that's the only thing that I can say. Thank you.
Wow. Peter, it's been a wonderful conversation, and I'm thankful that you spent in your morning, very early morning, to join our program to share and for us to connect. And I'm thankful that Lydia has made that introduction so that I know you today. And let's make the best out of this friendship, this relationship.
Yeah.
And I look forward to meeting you in person one day, my friend. Okay?
Yeah, I'm also looking forward to meeting you in person. Actually, if you get me an air ticket tomorrow, I'll catch the first flight.
Okay, my friend. Okay. Have a beautiful December, and wish you all the best.
All right. No, thank you so
I'll
much.
let you know when this one's there. So.
All right. So, thank you so much, and to the audience and everybody watching, I just one more time, I just want to thank you so much for giving me this privilege. I'm an African man from Zambia. You know, what you're doing is a great thing. If people have not told you, to give people a potential and a platform to share their ideas, and just this is what we need in the society. Already, this is purpose, because it's bringing in a mindset shift, creating a platform to change people's lives. It's not about you, but it's about people. You know, you are selfless. I just want to honor you as a great leader. That is leadership, and that's what we commend. Otherwise, I want to celebrate you for the works that you're doing in the world. People will not clap for you, but I'm clapping for you from Zambia. You're doing a great job. Thank you so much for all that you do. And thank you for giving me this privilege to be on this platform. To the audience, thank you so much. And thank you. Shalom. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you very much. It's very
yeah.
kind of you to say such words, and we love you from Asia. Okay?
Yes. Okay. Thank you. All right.
Bye-bye, my friend.
Okay. Bye.